And a international diplomatic relations consultant Al-Wahab about becoming sa evier. Eja, Mohammed Kwaba. You say be Biabakodia.
Inshallah.
Now making kind character. And they were talking about illicit capital flow from the continent of Africa. One session was talking about our mineral resources. And it's a free move. Our continent of Africa. So echo continent of Afro. And Mutimidi Yom Hui. And Tokwa ye queen. Ujidisa yebetimi akuniye. Galamse and Tokwa. Yebetimi akuniye. And critically look at the supply chain, the chain of mining. No, my concern has to do with omo talk at the Kwabontin.
At the Kwabontin.
At the Kwabontin.
And so
I am Famra Kwanson.
And so what the man who said on Todia over top. That is how the whole thing is. Galamsey na be more or less a political slogan. It is true, sir. You look at it from the fact, say, land abuse, and I say forest abuse, water bodies, any other things put all together. What is called illegal is what they call it, the Galamsey, and illegal. Because of those who are using tools, smaller tools. But our understanding was that some of them are medium scale, some of them are, like small scale. But we have legalized small scale gold mining companies.
Sure.
But what they say? The definition as to which one is small scale and which one is large scale or medium scale, in my view now, maybe had not been properly defined. Because here is the case, as we've been told or we know, say, those whose machines are bent, ISO machines, a lot of them can produce documents validating the operations. But of course, in our own constitution, the mineral laws, the regulations, a woman said a certain size of a land could be allocated or is to be allocated, and only a citizenry, the subjects of the land, the people of the community. There's two. Omuni ntimi ni that capital say or the excavators. Oni capital say obetimato trommels. Oni capital say obeto your friend is saying generators. But your only capital say obeto other equipment, bashing machine money nyama, and even the water that they extract to do the bashing before the processing, and the processing equipment, which is the machine to process the gold itself, not the orthodox way of using the pamper to wash it. All these things in Intino and are in the mind of the Mineral Commission. What is called small scale mining. Now, so Mineral Commission, you didn't think through this, and you gave them the small scale mining license, bearing in mind and knowing very well, say, oh yeah, excuse me, Obi and the capital in 10,000 Ghana cedis. The capital need 20,000 cedis. But what my license to mine now? What is the permit given for? You are giving a license to do galamsey. Are you getting the analysis?
So the Mineral Commission,
they have given license
in one way or the other, is complicit of whatever it is that is going on.
Because of their bad laws, ebia omu enhwe back, and I say omu yomagin say ombe revisit it. Because at the time some of these laws were passed, they didn't expect the challenges. Because the Ghanaian and most part of Ghana were not in the gold mining. Ghanaians and most part of Ghana, who say na gold I said it in this particular studio the first time said Ghana since the last 100 years, from colonial to post-colonial, 100 years up to 2021, I think that Ghana one mining the gold reserves 10% of the country.
Now they say my chunk of it, are still under the ground.
They are doing alluvia. Over the chisel, any hammer, about 2 kilometers beneath the soil. You cannot. Baby, they are doing alluvial mining. And no crana yet medium scale, any light scale, no cry or no, or yet alluvial mining quite uncle for more than even 5 or 20 meters. Or no uncle even 10 meters. It go don't know why. But it is the processes and how we handle the whole thing. And then I may say, so was it truly? One man, there was small scale mining. Small scale mining is 2 land in Adiama womb. Also, small scale mining. Why year demarcation and why year allocation? Of course, small scale mining. It be a 1 kilometer. Your friend is saying it be just about 2 acres.
Yeah.
It be a 5 acres. It be a 6 acres. 2 acres, 8 city plots. Now say 8 city plots, no. With the ama kwajo brekon or kwajo whatever enterprise, a small scale, no man paper, one the amano. Only scar or they call for excavator 1 day, about 2,400 Ghana cedis. Land in India, Ukra documents. The obey say, what friend for boys who come for. Monko mining, na mama percentage. And to mu too bon. And the facts that were allocated this area at the Ama Kojo and a happy FM. The number of people working on it, if you want them to take care of the land, reclamation and all that, it is you, the Mineral Commission, who theoretically but practically at the same time, who hasn't done your job well, to oversee the responsibility. So we check proper. Papa, Minerals Commission, Lands Commission, and all the agents, there are 3 things they fail to do: supervision, monitoring, and control. They don't do any of them. So what?
Supervision, monitoring, and control. They do not do any of them.
What you cry and I will issue certificate. Nipa ne free no chrome enchi wabaji certificate or the call enchi. One man the license were triaka. Who sikana what they call government chest consolidated no. Enu the air offer. Receipt na momo GBD no air offer. Signature na mo sign no air mo de. Do you understand me? But you don't supervise what the person takes the document and what he's doing out there. You don't monitor what the person is doing. And you don't control how they should do it. So the 3 ingredients, supervision, monitoring, and control, none of them is adhered. Come, a slogan, a political slogan, sometimes in Ukraine, it's just a borders on, excuse me to say, just ordinary effectiveness instead of the government employing efficiencies. They just want to be effective, meaning say, ya pese ya tia honka, minister bi ba pese ya tenenka. So a be mineral commissioner be about per. But when you sit down as a country, you admit the fault. So where dear and try ye. You reverse the entry. You go back to the drawing board. Now you shisha the end for. Because Papa, think of it. Ghana concession. Obi to Australia. A crana say here woman. Large scale concession. You see concession with the Ocean Ghana ye in more. Your geological map in more. About 50 kilometers square. Bunsu Hayam, Obako baby, a Kibi, 80 kilometers square. A whole allocate map, large scale. Ghana ni be no wis called the cotton.
Sikanyo.
Oska cry and Toman. Na Brunia Baba Beto. Oba will share royalty. Mineral Commission license back and forth. They here woman $300,000 now watching for documentation. Now woman I get $300,000. No documentation I'm a Brunin. We are contractors on site as usual. Or quite any geological survey. Or the tools are question you am home. Will be a pit 1, pit 2, pit 4. Will be about 30 pits. Wash and higher grade and lower grade. Why in a sample? Why in analysis? At that time, we sound so documents. Yes, we can documents. Oh yeah, land not torn about $300,000, less than $500,000. Why you the proper grading? No a structure investment book. No the control. Stock
exchange.
No a ton $15 million.
Now it's $25 million.
Oh my Ghana, what Australia? No a Genesika, what Canada, no a what US, no a. I get in me. Peanuts. Scano yan chairman will come. What I say? The investor in Australia, but they are two accounts in the whole. What have you benefited by it?
Zilch.
And to one year way, because at $300,000, $200,000, $150,000, a YGDI license, large scale mining. What they are YG? I don't know how to at the commission. Nasabi. Or no village ana ne danyachi gold no near two na come dino o come mining sites and the mining villages now. In fact, go and look at the people, the kind of lifestyle, the poverty level of living. Me mount and you know, and then the Achiwa regions. The mining companies in the mining will be bedroom in the concession. Now, as I may dine and excavator, a move soil, or move black stones. Ya bash me na. A dear channel pa. Nam Mrs. Cano Mutua. Or no, dear local, dear, or no. The entire or yes, a firm galancy. Or no one to mean yes, excavator could be a pit. And feeling you a man in fine watching. In the sooner that honano, and you bring chino, or consume. You was a son at Tiano, at the consume, at the acquire on one bashing. No yenny local processing, and Tiano and Sue no bear cocoa. Abrofona and Casanso Umutuno, as on some of them no, also soon sooner, or as it, our give fresh water, yeah, the two soon. No, also was said. But on only the end, they will say a light scale. In the last case, you were saying, but the guarantee was saying, and yet, the Biaba, yet let's employ effectiveness. A man for say, guarantee fighting you lose, into quickly, no, I see a field. It is not the amount of the number of soldiers, police, army that you send on board resolve the issue. It is the amount of efficiencies that you employ. Not the effectiveness. It is how over regulating loss of the minerals in Egypt. Papa, is there any country that is poorer than Sierra Leone? On the West African belt, it's one of the poorest in the world. It's among the first 10 poor countries. Yet, they know the biggest diamond mining. West Africa, Cornwall region. Papa, what is our issue of government and the citizen, whether small scale of you were the same scope, Commonwealth. Yeah. Papa, Sierra Leone for mineral loss. Kong. Haya Freetown here. There's no difference between gold and diamond. The same thing as mining from the soil. The same process to some extent, with small variances. Now, Omo no society my yom law. Happy FM. And no Chester Kono, Kailan District, Kenema, Bo, and Chelsea in 2. Locals in 2 diamond. 2. Papa. They are custodians of the land. But in our case, they are custodians and poor people of the land.
In the case of Africa, in the case of Africa, Sierra Leone and Kazakhstan.
Yeah, America, Ghana, worst case scenario, Ghana in reference, in perspective. Sierra Leone in perspective. Niger in perspective. Burkina, Mali. Shasa across the West African belt, baby, that desert in a good and what do we have to do? Is there anything that stops the Republic of Ghana? So we'll fight Galamsey. Now Wankasa, do the needful. They were located at a small scale, no? Or Minerals Commission. Go and open Ghana Minerals Company. Go and open Ghana Minerals Company at the villages. Create it as an employment hub. Now one Kasanu they will pretty bigger scale. Who will pretty large scale. But one will say Nkrasi for no. Ahuchenu go dom super. What stops you from creating company in Enchi? Dry and Kanta, Achim whatever, Achim Begro, baby I go do union. Does anything stop Ghana government so on so beko? I could be gold mining companies in Kitwani Bioho. Now I bring in the villagers now. Woman rescue my life. 2 a.m. no move to from Equasha form. 3 a.m. Now land any keep on them. So while we are supervision, and now while we are monitoring, now we are control. And now one kasa when the town, and for that matter, the municipality or the district, and I say the chief, the palace, and the man say, and Yahano, Yen say, into the Yenya outreach officers, ba. No more guide. Na Yen say, my omu the guiding principles. No two crown or mouth taxa. If you are controlling, you control the water. If you are supervising their work, you make sure nobody will go out there to throw anything acid in Nyama. If you are monitoring, you know who comes in and the kind of tools are Papa Omudeba. When you move here, Gigi Mokwa, Adia Chan, no Makwada Hotel. Muyo, Muko operational. Send your farm so Namoda. Mokwa no Mamoba, some of the land cruisers. Will be our operation with the land cruisers. And have we costed ourselves fuela yatodical operations? What do we get? Yakone yakoshishi excavators. The idea was that excavator no yen che ema municipal assemblies. Yen che ma no be the power player babaji. Yen say no. Excavator ni musa won say ebe pro onwura mu ha na. There be eventually no you better on scraps. Why near ton scraps na man? Ya kwatwe ba ya say na wie ni de. Are we go because the argument is say we won't have money for low bed. So on Kotomra, low bed budget 3,000 to bring to the city or whatever. Or the back crowd budget SYZ yati. In Tianchama district yati. Yanchama will be yati. Yashino. Which in Ubia it is no more the property of the person now. Ya Jeffrey in Semno. Yansha a quaya. You be faswa, you be saton, sa excavator. You sure how much value that comes to the government.
You make a point about government's intervention, and as a government going into a year mining sector.
Yes.
Now on Nyumakuo betimi etusiko kono in some of these communities.
Yes.
What would that mean for that large scale mining company?
Large scale, some of them Newmont, etc. Nothing stops them. The small scale doesn't compete with the large scale, neither the medium scale. What will mean to them that the large scale businesses that they can go deep down, like Anglo Gold, Goldfields, and others. On what team call more than 10 kilometers down. At what point does a Galamsey compete with them? There's no competition. What I mean is that what was this small scale now with their village, with their town, while located around the town, not the deep inside the forest. And because why a bigger a catchment area, call it the large scale, because we pay more money, revenue of registration in your money, man. The Odiama chrono, small scale, no, Ghana niba, 82 bino, Unia, and no, I make sure say, what the ma woman. One fa bibia and shedding sem. But onuno kra pick us. And no cry aso holes. And no cry rakes. And yama or de quiet no, your friend local tools. And the local tools no de kohono. Your friend any foul means. Bia de benya gold bia.
Kwan bia as no let's go bi.
And then I make sure say I say we are to create employment. We are to make money. And we want to domesticate our revenues and make sure the ordinary Ghanaian would have money. And I'm saying, say what district council, district assembly.
Yes.
What do they do? That could be a part and parcel of district assembly no manasa adwuma no no fan creative revenue into district assembly township small villages na on catchment area no obetima enrolu na wo nyina akọ field no so na wo the garden lines Ghana Geological Survey officers in Kohokokoshe to the whole day abrofo no sa perform no dom koye adwuma as mining supervisors no matrium ka no maja wo mabigo Ghana Geological Survey papa ka asegu pick up no kwa na tie no kura kuru nipa dasani what I say pick up ne ties no but you ka expertise and experts from good geological surveyor you don't have an idea this issue ongoing as we speak ask me geological survey do not say engage you Minerals Commission engage geological survey they know the land more than you. They know the land more than you. How far have you engaged them? And to say who will pin the national confab. Now we'll pin the summit to discuss about it. You are treating the side of the traditional area. That doesn't bust up the NC Hall. Now they are the only people. Name on father expertise for no. Omam wada expertise in mra. Na mo nyina mo ntenase. Nyanka say ye dani a ombetu. Enti geological survey, when the minerals commission, when the district, any the regional body no, any the security council no, mo form nyan call no a prototype, a local type of a mining company. Small one. Papa, a class mining company bianca krabia nya dwuma ye. Because krana we imagine say farming no nye bi. Ne papa koton the plot, 1 farm acre land be 10,000 Ghana cedis, $2,000, less than 2,000. Papa nfi se come de ne ba yare, ne ba kra, or pe dan dem e de akoton niama. Nti eso high dan man ne ba. Obeton koko e de am obi obetu gold also. E de 10,000 Ghana no, 2,000 abred brand so on pe dan. No high, na onko gina La Paz traffic light, non toilet rule. Irony of life. Realities, not assumptions. It's not stupidity. Into your case, the flow, urbanization, and Kraneba. Papa, what will make a Ghanaian? What could Suku? What could SHS? What will JHS? What will SHS? Every crane or HND. Now, a suburb Gina traffic like no to toilet room.
You've been more degree of Rokas.
Obi a what degree no? Rokas in a year. A bit swaffing. The poor boys in your home graduates. Obi mami, a funeral, no copper dark in the shoulder. Near Bobo Mali, you know their son. Obi are near man 150 Ghana. Happy FM. Now, boys in the country, fully be so mood. And that can be smooth to pa. It's on no to her. Empire your boys a debia obi mu. Don't even cost a dead body. Is that how we settle on having gone through university? Is that the case? No. And to say, I'm say, Galam say no, we are the papa, this fight, nobody can stop it. They know it.
You believe that we can't stop the fight against illegal small-scale mining?
Why would you stop it? How would you stop it? Tell me. Give me the roadmap that you think you succeed. Give me one single roadmap. Give me one single roadmap. Are you telling me, say, Ghana a contingent army in Ukraine, and it's all the one platoon crying at the core. 30 contingent of 30 soldiers, and I don't call one villager. 30 soldiers who wait my children come and do a dancing area. Where there's a large scale. Over to the Makobogosu area. So one platoon be a crown, I don't call 30 soldiers in one company. But my course, a Ghana company, Yazoo Mukobush, don't cost of a Galamzinti, or fighting our way. Send our best stop enough. Happy FM. Do you understand me? So the challenges are real, and we have to face the challenges. The water body is no almost saying no, it is a fact. Because say, we've not maybe given them as a country a better alternative. Into Omono, officer and hot train no there to hell with you and your operations now. When himself operations, oh yeah, Obeko. Now you must say, if we have that money to pay for 200 soldiers, to hire and charter and rent land cruisers, to pay hotel and accommodation bills, to give them food and per diem, Only for operation that you know, say, and you're indefinite. Only for operation that we know, say, and you're just only a political sometimes facade. Because at a point, it will expire, naturally disarmed. So it will be, if it will be naturally disarmed there, let's just say any future continuity in any home. And continuity in no there, it is an ad hoc measure. If it is an ad hoc measure there, it has a time expiration and a timeline. In the soldiers in if who we are, what next? Send the usual affair. It's a business as usual. So they go back and we are back to class 1. And the sense can and then the farmer geological survey, minerals commission, near training officers. Now young say, okay, young who acquire befaso, young protect your villages, okay, young protect you, okay. Because Papa, I'm surprised, but I'm not shocked. So to forecast say, Jenny Atiti here, whom was he referring to? You are referring to politicians, opinion leaders, and the chiefs. And I'm a boy. 30% or more among us, ye. What does the king, the sensible king, is telling you? Or shall say, Adiano, and you shall beat my fight. It is a more proper way they are stopping, they are not stopping, because or in the end, when now take down her, when your land cruiser on the moon. Happy FM. And you create to go. What about my Chinese in your land cruiser man? Or he never bad that land cruiser. Go through Bogo so air back, Abesano, Abe chieftaincy a year. What dema me action? A driver no.
Happy 98.9 FM no asugusu awutie no. Fa wo message no fa 0202222067 mene international diplomatic relations consultant Al-Wahab and I'm in the studio ha. This is the first part of the show. Na yam free mining iso. Na yam ko sika free continent iso ko baby. Untapped for document bi wo ha me kan ye. Na womo kase sika to de bia on an annual basis a African government binom etimi except free continent so edikoku baby ma ebua baby for about $140 billion. Yes. Na ma menkan statement bi na yem financial commodity or say illicit financial flows and corruption are inhibiting African development by draining foreign exchange, reducing domestic resources, stifling trade and macroeconomic stability. And that's my point. So we know that this thing exists. That'll be the last question that I'll ask you, but I'm asking now. Why have we not taken steps to deal with it? Let's start from Ebane saying, Ena, yetem sika free or man, not just government. The document also mentions some corporate entities. International inclined. Multinational inclined. One must say sika free continent so edikogu omo krom. Ebane say.
Okay. Let's go back to the historical antecedents. And he say, understand said in the 19th century. Happy FM. Until the Second World War ended up 45 thereabout. Nastola and your BBI friend said, free territories of the world. The free territories of the world was the fact said, near what land, Google baby, colonies be no more pay. Part and reason and why First World War, very possible was the fact said there was an agenda of supremacy. There was an agenda said countries be a no as colonial masters, i.e. the UK, the British, i.e. the French, i.e. the Americans, the Russians, the so-called superpowers. Who say your lot of land are now from the 15th century, from the 6th century, urban. Aden, Italy, say India for Nana or Mobefa Italy. In the 6th century, where are Italians now? And where are Indians now? Enti koya bedu 19th. But the First World War no kumwie no. There were land me conquer one mabeji. There were land we be conquer no abeji. And the Second World War so by the Axis power, the Germans, Italy, Ethiopia, and some other countries, 14 of them against other because not they were fighting not only because it was a Cold War, it is said Uncle kind of Hitler. No, that is not that nonsense. That was the trigger. It was a nonsense of who has the power, and somebody wanted to go out there and to dominate. In the British force, me colony in Ghana, me colony in Sierra Leone, Nigeria, but the more called Burma in the Far East Asia. Yeah, called by the Burma War, near Kogi territory.
Now Myanmar.
Yeah, Koha, young Kokunian Kogi territory. At that time, no, it was the colonial masters, and he said, and yet territory in Kuno no Koha. The lands were rich. There were monies. Not monies maybe as in cash, because most countries in the bills.
So the wars were motivated by the quest for riches.
For riches. And to conquer. Are you hearing me? Now, on taking possession. On taking nipa man and somno. Now, on taking minerals. At that time, and Nakra Yayo Kroma in the 21st century, what geologists were near Luka. A young boy is 23 years, were master graduate in geological expertise. Now, and so still, that time, no. Now, Omuba, Niachia Maminia Papa Gudem, no Massa Montonium, and I am a mumpi, no Mako Bush. In their time, the same excavators if you see using today, no, they also had the powerful machines in their time. And this is gold, diamond, etc. And all the country, the third world, call it, are now under colonization. Or no under territory.
Yes.
So interestingly, historically, from the 1950, precisely, urban, no awareness, because it dated 100 years back in the 18th century. And another French, the Portuguese, the Danish, the English, are you getting me? The Spaniards. I'm calling this now. Control 100 years, and San Yabeja Hamam. And it's all sharp. The world history tells you that countries are near under occupation of colonization. Time never soon 1950, 51, 52. Largely the whole African continent, except Liberia and then Egypt to some extent. But even Egypt, under the King Farouk, they had to go through what? Revolution. And some of Egypt, Obenya, the first president. And at the time now, countries started to say, oh, here the independence. Referring to Africa, the leaders and the fighters for the independence, they were Pan-Africans. Pan-Africanism, the practice and the doctrine was said, we will promote, protect anything African. Our culture, our identity, our language, our food, our way of life. We are Pan-Africans. Where do we see? At that time, Habib Bourguiba was in Tunisia. He was a typical Pan-African. Okay? Algeria, Ahmed Bembella, he was a Pan-Africanist. Egypt, Mohamed Naguib, he was a Pan-Africanist. West Africa, Kwame Nkrumah, Sekuturi, Modibo, Keita. Across, no munina Pan-Africans. Because na ono oma brese abrofo die so ache. Enti yanya so ye. Interestingly, out of inexperience, omu ye mistakes. But it wasn't their fault. Mistake omu ye any say. They were in a rush, in a haste, but they couldn't have waited any longer. No Mufi said how they were punishing was too much. So we needed our country, take our land, and partly we do not get time maybe to understudy them out of rush. Typical example, my country, Ghana. At the time, their population knew 4 million or around 4 million.
Yeah.
Sika near Ohoni, Sika does to Australia.
Yes.
Near Sika does to Canada, and even the British Crown itself. And near Fitz Cano. And Tiaje Power, Yerashie, send your monko. Namunko working permit in Amumra. And Tom Koyen, Oma Mabji working permit. So Mbaju social security diako. Benny and training social security expert bia. And SLB office in my home. And better transit. The governors inside no call for buy. A co change team crew. And the accountants proper from UK. Woman be US Canan Casabai. And be day. Ever check your social security of having worked in Ghana. And do Msikano. I say, Chin Sikan Yadi Fio Moka.
There's almost for Konya Sasso. Essence Daniel Hoba.
So I hear Juma British Gold Coast.
And there was a Gold Coast in the
Trianica. And also the call Ghana Yati. Name still a Juma Ghana landing in tree the same Gold Coast. And Juma year and Munchia pension my. And no better check here no the but a Ghanaian worker pensioner. We are Juma overcall a unit snetting or that table so I know the pension crying family 21st century. And Abrafun Bay is can coin. Then they went to sit down and say, how well can we use the people? We can only use the people and say, Kofona G independence we are on Kofono, Omania Bre, Omo continent. They will not give in.
Happy FM.
Omo Maya Quine. It's young 5 quine be so. Yen Sampam woman. Now, Oma Barno dear, you better refresh your mind. That was the cause of the African different kinds of revolutions. In Russia, historically, every African independent, Secretary Muna Ombaya stubborn. Omo the who said no, will be militants. Yamabro from earlier the days, Omam called democratically, the longest 70s Kromamo, 57 to 66, come on, Bessinko, Keita, Bessinko. Secretary, you understand? No, Omo pump, Omo tries it. They instigate Lumumba, Kukum. All of them count that they were all Pan-Africans. So those crews did not keep money abroad. Those crews, they didn't keep money abroad.
They kept money here.
Say, Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. Ghana is older than Singapore in terms of presidency.
Yeah.
Mbajoti say, Lee Kuan Yew said, leave me to stay in power. The longer I stay, I'll steal you. Much I'll give back. So 1959 to 1990, 31 good years close. On in a Belgium, Singapore was poorer than Ghana. Malaysia, Takum, Abdurrahman. Oh no, Ghana was ahead. We were presidents. 8 months before, and Obenya presidency. Look at where he took Malaysia, and how many years. Go back to the north of Africa. Are you getting me? Koshe, Egypt. Gamal Abdel Nasser, Oni Mohammed Nagu, Omo combination, how they built Egypt after overthrow of King Farouk, the monarchy breaking down. Serially and several times comparisons, Kaunda, Ene, Nyerere, Ene Kenyatta. They were not the people who started the extortion and access Kana Omdikoche. No, yet. Because they believed in the Africanism. And they really wanted to. But the mistake they did was that, especially in our case, top class Kwame Nkrumah was the architect, a massive thinker, a huge advocate of intelligence. And he was too much effective, sir. Now he was in a rush because he has studied the white man. Now, whites in who say Nkrumah betray Omu. Because those people post independence. Whereas the French, independence, no de crocro, and a French in Ponce go Paris. Don't go Paris, you deputies. Into one France administration, Minister of Agric, no more about 30 deputies. African deputy minister, about 30. Ofo Bwanya Waha, we Wahab to do for money at the day, Sisa Omina Dom Kugu as deputies. With the idea, say, Oma Momo the doctrinization. Some morning Namunya day. when I'm changing
the doctrine of assimilation.
Yes. And money and name obey Jumano. And I'll protect you. In any case, the reality is that the longer somebody stays in power does not necessarily make the person corrupt. It is not true. Longer that the person stays in power does not make the person corrupt. It is the usage and abuse of the power that makes the person corrupt. So ironically, Timi tailor country into success. They said longer because they had a program. Yanya Diana saying, look when your mama 31 years, King Tukun Ahmed Abdul Rahman. Omuko how many years? Ethiopia Hakrano, Salasamuko how many years? And some of them stayed longer and had a good plan. Chinese premier, Oko how many years? But you share the Chinese history at the time of 50s, in the 50s, you know. Now share presidency at 57, we're older than them in terms of democracy. And they are still not democratic. Does that make China not a successful country? So look at where China is. Wako moon. What did them change? Wako moon. After the excavators, Echo Bush forest.
Happy FM.
But what I say? Obi ko orbit. After near Sukra Land Cruisers, Echo Bush. Aqua pe your friend is saying, Garamseya, Acheno. Look at where their country is. North Korea is a typical communist country. Share no history. Vietnam, Ghana, and an Vietnam. Ghana, all an Vietnam. European country, Romania, Ghana, and an Romania. Ceausescu regime. Ghana helped them. Into a no more diplomatic pact. Ghana for crimes you share. Because you see hotel Chewomo, you see hotel Poland and other places. Until we were having the monies. But and yes, says Kano, Shani Yanshasuyi, but you man first Kanan Kusi. But
Yanshasuye in what sense?
Scan said to you. Dr.
I want
independence.
After independence,
yes.
Prior to independence. Abrofono esan Daniel Mhobai say, "Oma ye juma mai."
Oh yes.
And they will see a tuomuka. So they came back for a part or a portion of reserves and near war.
Oh, Baba is enormous.
Social
security. We go home and cash because we can't money no. Gold Coast account was in France. Was in UK. Nena Bank of Ghana.
They determined how much they were supposed to be paid.
Yes, and almost say gold reserves in the country. But not that was standing no. Every country went through that colonial mishaps. United States of America, say in the 40s, say we'll be a bonny and you trying pennies edition as a form of punishment. No, yes, Abium. Also a world police. One yes, Abium. Just 1946, yeah. Majority I say. And people have gone through what process of why now you be do time now. Now you feel say, sir, the forefathers. The colonial, post-colonial woman, homogeneous independence, the independent fighters, Pan-Africans, Ombaye weaker, Abrofuni deceive woman, FD the backline, ebe 2 woman. Show me time, ebe the 6 years, ebe the 4 years, ebe the 2 years. Years stubborn term no. And say no way, me mount you. And then the mass secretary will create rebels and militants around the whole Sudan area, Sudan Empire. I'm referring to Mali, Senegal, and Gambia, Guinea, Gambia, Onion. Who create rapper to stop Abrofon so mobile so mbabe tuno. That made him so timid time with Kakra Eche. But Woma Keninano will be a pamano. Ya pam woman and the men of their choice. Omenam the orientation is said to protect your country, bring the money. Yam fancy amount.
Happy FM.
And other jurisdictions. China who ni nyansa. O kipu ni sika man nkofo. Malaysia hu ni nyansa odi ni sika ye development. Singapore odi hiani a woni resources wetima be the third model beautiful economy in the 1996-97 up to 2000. Singapore was the highest paying country in the world in terms of salary, and yet what did fish, aqua, tourism and what they building the country and why in a service nation what the taxes in the country. Singapore is an identity of what? Neatness. Yet, channel.
So for us, I'll have for us, dear ma this trend here one more di countries nanim after the Pan-Africanist leaders were gone. They were the people who introduced and helped germinate the idea. Say, see a year, I was here, Sikano, Ekokoma Abrofono.
Abrofono, na catch say, oh, the Nkrumah, oh, Patrice Lumumba, oh, Kenyatta, one Kaunda, one Julius Nyerere, one who your friend is King Fat, King Ahmed, all of them, no, one who do and you protect you. Could you almost so? Nyanchra Okwan Faso. Omu bumu kwasia. Omu ye dictators. Omu ya kromfo. That is how they sold. And then we, the betrayal mentality of the African. Yaji tumu. Ani aji abrofunu hoska. Ani be ye coup d'etat. Yani aji abreku. Yes, of course. Some of them, no, there were excesses. Democratically, there were excesses. But we should understand that countries now go through the process. United Kingdom, and then UK, the British, Great Britain, Lancashire, and then the Londoners, Omufanya Irish, Omufanya Wales, Omufanya Scottish. They were treated them the same thing like they were more treating us. But the country go through or went through processes. Mbajwaja said, Russians, they were treating the colonies. But when Timan colonized Bakokra, and up to now, only Ukraine, it's because Russia cannot claim so a master of Ukrainian independence. No. They didn't colonize them. In Europe, Obia in colonial master. Obia a master on his own. Yeah, then the Ankobanisa. Our own, we had colonial masters. And young colonial masters, instigate woman be two Pan-Africans in Vienna. And one woman start here. And then, unfortunately, in the 90s era, late mid-80s and the 90s, coming, I honor the revolution of Africa. Ebe started. Until revolution started, honest started by because they wanted protection. Until so be two, and we say Kwame Nkrumah a true democratic or Chabrofuni Nyansa dia. And yet, wow, by no, Branian protect you. Who is Ka Fabeshaha? My manum Rahano Meko school ha. Near me accounts, ma. And in the Didima, but in the mid 90s up to 2000. What not the mechanical mentality, stupidity, foolishness, criminality, obvious, utmost chrono. Omon bedid are there from that time. Omnam di nyansa chrono by. So Abrafun who sang for no Jimmy. And ye greedy. And they are not prepared to help their people. So what we do, he said, Fauci Canebra. And what happened? I mean, sure, and let me say it once again. Politician, president of a country, our US can. Obianwa or this can call Brunibia Commercial Bank. It is not true. They open trust houses.
Trust houses near.
Trust houses, and they say, your Ghana Commercial Bank or the Commercial Bank in Israel will be a team discuss Kotumbi. By your Ghana Commercial Bank Trust House. If you account support managing a Nipa 80, Obian Vediscama to Obium. And you went to mean Tina. Bogoso, and shall be a counter, a water credit because a Bank of Ghana, a Ghana Commercial Bank, one platform. The same thing I brought from here. And they gave certain people the license. HSBC, Commerce Bank, all the top banks the way you open. Swiss Bank, Omina BA, Trust Houses, Happy FM, HSBC, and a Swiss Bank, Happy FM branch. On one commercial account, you physical mametum. Yet nipa bi ti se bra me wo obi edin sika betum a home formation bi anko out. What ya na?
There's an exclusive service.
Trust House. This kind of control no assign. Now interestingly, while we are president now, this says can be should you home. Untaxed for reporting. I am quite a report because Untaxed is asking, is reporting. Documentary say Sikania Stotu. But Untaxed says Kanya Negu train station. Scan Africans and by him and the money comes through their trust houses. And no man encrypted scammer. Now, yeah, say President A, like Abacha, Babangida, other presidents that you cannot call, including ours. Our women in a US can they call. Or this kind of what sign exclusivity say? Well, you can't any damn person. You should not know. Yes, that's the protection of the secrecy. NDA, non-disclosure. And the first thing I sign. And the sober we be a myra, San Wayre dear non so sign. Ube we be a mama, my remian and man. Because on passe, Oba catcher or Ireno Basse, Missika daha, Nachina be a copia babia, Yababe Sacha Yum Debbie, dear no yene own quan. With the Scanium you now chima bio yedia, and to what it is and say. The NDA was carrying to who are Oma Fescano. This is the cause of why the money goes up. They cannot bring it back.
Because already they've entered into an agreement.
You have an NDA, non-disclosure. And the money is encrypted in a trust house. It's not a commercial account. And Kobian Kaba publish an internet day. Kaba a president be accounts. Mamin Cho, Mobutu says a circle of Congo. And Okoto Dine, our band in Switzerland. Na baby or dino, not train for Danechi. A long stretch. A dynamo on them. But Adaba Kwabakwa Dahon train did a betramuno. I also so baby to say the East Legon or the Trasaco of Bern of Switzerland. But to Oba betramo train betrama on Timina. Obi uncle be 2 years no call no. And Wakacha Swiss government say railway line we party and call you free and come pay. We just Swiss in New Oh, Yabayama. And we'll call you the cotton baby. Look at the cost. Mobutu Wiyeno. As you and I say, Nisika Eka Switzerland. Other na brofono on tax force was our reporting. Only Mobutu scanning from Congolese. Nisika de Coma Belgium, Brussels, Antwerp, half of the city, our Congo. Half of Brussels, we will be out to Brussels. Half of Brussels a Congo for property. Stupidity. You are too down the call. Mobutu Wuko, Ubetima to a dino at the Ako. Aka. Majority I say. So, it is not only that. And to woman now almost still a Pan-Africanism no. Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi. Also wanted their own Jane. Abrofona accuse you no. Why you say young till today. When even they wanted to kill Gaddafi, they could not come out. Say, yes, we are Sika and billion, diamond, gold, etc. Gaddafi's regime, his ideologies, political ideology and philosophy, how different was it from Lee Kuan Yew? I didn't know man could Lee Kuan Yew.
How is that different from Paul Kagame?
Listen to me. Kagame cried another history. We'll come into that. What I say, you can use a longer years, bad political system, and get good economic. Until whilst the Chinese will say, we will give you no political democracy, but we'll give you a trade or profession democracy. We'll democratize you to have a profession than to give you a fingerprint.
Let me, Mami Musa Sassumwe, how is it that this trend has been able to live this long, despite the fact that Yahoo said in Sunsansu free movement and what the continent of Africa?
Okay, the beautiful aspect of it is that back home in Ghana, your young politicians like you, like brother, like some of us, I will take consolation. I will know your modern day. We need my hotcha who mates, who age mates who come. Your young politicians don't buy politics. They are criminals more than the old ones who got to women. Are you with me? Our young politicians who joined in the last 20 years, who joined the last 25 years, one would have expected, say, they bring the new things, the modernity in country run and say, yeah, they are who, yeah, your classmate, your school, yeah, your legon, yeah, your legon, yeah, your tech, yeah, your poly, that them, yeah, bread, yeah, per good governance. So, guys, you know, any girls, you know, call politics, you know. In our own country here, Omicron no boy and 70-year-old politicians. You know. So it means it is a transfer of a stupid baton. It is not an amount, how best, how smart that you do it, but how it impacts the life of the others. And we're asking ourselves, are we learning or we are reversing the entry? The question is that we are reversing the entry with a stupid speed. And today, and ya obi because one kasa who percent who could your politicians or Land Cruiser 5 our ministry. The same person as or ministerial talk Your new ministers here appoint you, Massa. Which your business will cook Massa region beer. Or no minister, no Ajilan Christmas pay 8. Golden tulip. Aha, no makoda. Shora no pa, na kwa show breakfast omu ye. Via, she cap, she jeans, she boot. Papa kwasa some kwana boys in kudi. No go bem. Nonsense. Because when they go, they like the ambience. Minister Ba, no abegina ho pejanity, no pejanity say. Excuse me, with all due respect. They don't make any sense. If they make sense, like the spirit and the heart of Nkrumah Money, Ketamara won't do toil, their blood, fight here. We think, say, the generation, the modern youth, cry, say youth in Yejuman. How well have our youthful politicians impacted the life of their own classmates? Show me back. Show me one. And yet the same thing on court, Mr. Speaker, no more can go to Parliament. What do they do? But we have a life to live. And we have a country that we are developing. So you ask myself, say, are we developing the nation? Are we building a nation? Or we are running a nation? So it gives credence to the president or Chiho, not referring to Nanado, not referring to all of them. Say, protect my working force, my ministers, let them feel comfortable. They have the voice of my government. To hell with you the rest. Go and sleep, come back tomorrow. It's like that. Because when even Wahab, what he has so beautiful and say, over criticize the crana, a person that you knew yesterday. That is why I said, let me call Macalanta. So I don't have even their friend is saying a CV, curriculum vitae. Some of the quack resume, some of the copay juma. And I will never do that, mashallah. Me here be. Because if you employ me and you take me to your outfit, you can't control me anymore. I'll be like a flying bird. You cannot control me. But they don't want you to do that. Therefore, business as usual. Let's find a way. Look, two governments, MPP, NDC, West Case, in reference. MPP, or with intelligence, cleverness. NDC, with aggression and stupidity.
Happy FM.
Do you get it? Anything, Weber power, or Wieska and Chini Nipabia, Weber power with the Timichibi. And to Waku Wieska with aggression, with impunity, disrespect. They are Bakunsu Wieska with intelligence and good cover. Each one of them, Obia Blemu will be said or you're corrupt. And yet, our prisons are free with any of these people. Rather, no, your tomato sellers in Umdegu cells. Your cassava sellers in affiliate prisons. In Tihanu Uya, hallelujah, Oko. But I'm asking not only Ghana, it's not different from Sierra Leone, it's not different from Kenya, it's not different from any other place. So you ask yourself, say, a continent with this massive wealth. The whole world, all the continents are filled. Except the only Africa, which is the biggest and the most richest continent. Now, up to now, we see what we see and then how we live. And Zaka says, I read your topic and how the money could be returned.
And I don't know, say, and that's
one Switzerland, tell me, have you seen made in Swiss products?
But Switzerland, for example, is saying they are trying to help some African governments retrieve money, sir. Some African leaders.
How do you help to retrieve? You have the money in your account. Bring the money to them. There's nothing helping me.
But they need to authenticate.
Authentication, anything. Let me tell you, Buhari's government, I'm giving you a secret. Buhari's government, every Thursday, the first 3, 4, 5 months of his government, every Thursday, I was sitting on part of their technical committee and they were chasing some of these things. I'm just telling you. Okay? I was going 2 times in a month in Nigeria. It's so sad. It is so sad. The kind of things that you notice and the monies one person takes away. And then let us, Mahmoud Buhari, one shred to come to. Do you know where? We chase some of the monies. Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Curacao, offline countries that you wouldn't expect. Panama, Vanuatu, Sika Omudia Koguon. One Timmy Nimwe no Wawu. The family Timmy made him Wawu. But the money is gone.
What really has motivated these leaders to do all the things that they're motivating? Said you're okay. Sika untumi ansan
Baba.
Unim senka sika no betimi aboa the development of your country.
Baba, Omo advises you. Don't forget say Omo advises. That's mistake that you making. Winim bibi. Me modin, but the chrome ha. Winim abrofo say omba have ebubu ya government no ko. Me ka me chewa bedwane. Abrofo share suit and 21st century. Eba ha ya Ghana, eba Nigeria, eba Togo ba ha. Our mo call himself say government and governance advisors, investors, blah blah blah. Ombe solicit fund. Papomba beard beard white. Yenya the car conform tamak so near Maomum nice best your friends a bus. American Ford. Team 16, which share team say yes. These are highly brainy people. Omiya from for Wall Street, 111 Wall Street. Oh, New York. They are criminals. But the concept but to what? Now government to hope. No magic consultancy fee. And actually no. Do no your governments no I enter secret contractor you and I Emma parliament your friend consultancy fee. They pay it. Let's can call. But what they say. Na omo tua consultancy fee ni wi a na eyi wo mu a obi ante entenuguase ni hit ni ba say call taxes so. But what they are na.
Yemfangu taxes so na tua.
That's the only way because yes how do you balance the equation? Ye yi wo mu papa African governments abrofo no gusu ebe yi wo mu in a clever way. Obe yi wo mu in a clever way. You don't have any idea. But abaya mistake obinti. Until the point is say, it's so sad say, your country I've said it seven said, Ghana, the only country on earth, are your resources or will be in that commercial volumes is Australia. The only country on earth that has every mineral resources in commercial volume area. It should not, and I don't believe, say Ghana should be now. Yeko yurem yeko chesi galamsi. Now you say why no there or what juma ya. Papa, obako akoshe bomu. Say na tie munu su na amna munu so. Do you think it's normal? It is not normal. Who does that? Who does that in this world? It's because when the people are helpless, when the people are hopeless, when the people have nowhere to go, then they must leave. Man must leave. They result in some of these things. Back to your question. The money is extorted, unless the money is shipped, the friend repatriation. Sika ya repatriated to a government, other jurisdictions. Brony bien no this can be mount because when the money is opened, when it comes there, young cause is here. Shatadi atiti, Nako Barclays Bank, Ghana Commercial Bank, $2 million, so it could be account. Papa, everyone should come out cook on. Maybe a discount will be any. The next day. For one kasasako, so baby is can. Is that not what happens in Ghana here? Obi ma check. One kasado check you cry kodun. You don't transfer your verification. Is that not the case? Now would this free woman oh more damn when need the hop. Now this car by Switzerland. Papa, Switzerland Crabia go school free until so be university. Why is it can on fanye? Why is it can on fanye?
Yeah, is it can.
Papa no for when is it can. Win him the reserves. Show me UK. Baby, you're too good. UK, baby, you're too good. 2015, world gold short here. British phone release home good, a good street to so. Why not go some coffee gold in Wahim? Gold reserves, my main shop, United States, Nevada State. Gold on 1 year, Nimukota. What is America be a galamsey? American even in gold. America for one crowd when you see a two gold crowd come home. And so Las Vegas, Nevada, the whole state in your golden quan. Kosha kwa American for first to golden. Gold companies who come American for an EFA. But kwa Nevada na koko to gold near here. Kasasa seen your papa de oko to gold also. Find the oil, United States and Canada. Alaska belts. Anchorage, the whole province, the whole the oil, no, Saudi Arabia, ni mukota. But I'll say they will not conflict with technology. Or no to high skills, good doctors, medical equipment, or to airplane, Boeing, this and that. In turn, kofa oil meka Emma Munina Madrim could do oil marketing. In turn, oil, name of Baka oil, I'm in for you. That is the sense. Alberta province of Canada. Oil or one, Saudi Arabia, the whole Middle East combined because I switch a woman. Omunibi. What you know oil? Quanyo. 1 barrel. On 2 years. Or say, and I will not conflict with technology. But let's come back home. Say, United States of America. Only there, or liquid production, or Tonyama, USA products, and you become cars or United Kingdom, the British. Shaminiama do draw. Omoyaton. I mean, you top British product on daily basis. Virtually not, but olive on what? Services. Taxation. Switzerland is a service nation. Only to produce Balbia. Or no momo quack or to adhere, say camera where, or say Swiss version. Any European version, no, Swiss version. Company be a ye bibia or Swissa, woman specification. Chem Swiss in this way. Chem Niskawe. Neutrality. Red, white flag, and they would play neutrality. And to be our US can be a fabra betuha. Now, my home by amount. Majority, I say, a country with 3 professions of each. Ubia or radio presenter be a Switzerland or so Jenny. Udi soldier 3 months, 2 months, no Asako police at Adie, we are no Asabaha, protecting the country and protecting the country's past. Your country ne salary in Europe higher chance Switzerland. A dent in European Union man called Johnny currency no. On Johnny because say yes sir sikabi guho. A wo di amanena na ma babeji.
Fudu.
O di amanena na ma beji. O wia wasa the neutrality. Asa the 46 soldiers akọ guide your friend is saying Holy See or Vatican because of neutrality. So you need back or guide the Vatican, only Miska Editrianica. Sense, common sense, a service nation will produce a but to Nieska. And then they're still no yen Timmy. I gave example the last time. Dubai was built by a 42-year-old British boy, architect, and was designing the country Dubai. Until then it was a poor country than even Togo. Poor. Share says Dubai. Or a service nation. You produce Bibia or home. So maybe the product coho 9% ton krumwa the batches made in Dubai. Spare parts and then Mercedes obey and made in Dubai. I don't just a production company no. There's no fleet. Production line in here. But our service country no. Or say Betofie. Share the group company. Any other Israeli friends say Dubai company Emirates. And call for dying or Makotoho. And no one and I'm just say Obaba can you scalon. What do you ask me now?
But I believe that Enkumowe
baby. Before we go off. Politicians are got down with Dubai. Yes, businessmen need their private men need it. Leave them. Politicians are got down in Dubai.
But there is a report also indicting some businessmen that they facilitate the fly of these money.
Papa, so maybe a businessman. That's a one dream. What is can been a minister, being an accountant, being a hood, whatever. Now this kind of brother say, "Oh, Papa, what comes to me?" Never quite okay. Mr. Sophie said, "Me a pope." Who is a Vatican? What am I? Also the Beko.
Yeah, wrap you up.
It doesn't make well. But like I said, Oma thought down with Dubai. No, sometimes in a hard dream. Politicians, I'm sorry, not the private ordinary one.
I didn't.
Because say, Oji Dina or say or invest amount. Now Oba Dubai hoa babe daha friend 2 weeks in advance. Non prepare a dino like your son for my high. Why babe them? Why would I know? Why would I watch you know? Chow money time. Now about 2 weeks. What the car catcher say your reservation be a book. Our dining model because who are heading or finance amount. Maybe 2 weeks now, I would do down class one. Either say we here rent a man beam because we manage that man. Yes, as a cocoa baby da because of the dining menu for. And the dining practically is not yours.
Tell you. What you are done?
What you are done? Come, you know, be a tracker. $300,000, $400,000.
Be just some.
Or just some man, a company now turn or so one run amount.
See, a year facility management company. No.
Yes.
I say, on no manage
or manage amount.
But Otiha.
What you
na open so
call 2 weeks advance.
Was money 2 weeks advance.
Advance notice. Next year that will be also be 6 days. 6 days in this one I saw one quite bit your rent.
Why would I no bit your rent?
One quite bit your rent.
I'll have it.
Ain't no, I know Susuka.
Happy ever.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, that's a bit. And the Abu Bashi. Obi rent so if you're a bit to another.
Happy ever.
International diplomatic relations consultant Al-Wahab. I'm pretty sure say next week about to ask what you change. We will find out ways and means that you bet to me this kind of beba
of Nigeria was there under good luck. Oil minister. Time Buhari and she was the first target because they saw a serious extortion in the repatriation, money laundering, heavy, what they call in London. Buhari AHT said, Obachi design. What was the British report? Design has what? Cancer. She will die the next 2 days. And no brofona bua no unity. No man call hunger strike. Into Buhari now call a yinko no so there was a report in Nigeria said designed to die in 2 weeks' time because Dr. Retrieval. As we speak, we naturalize it as a Dominican Republic citizen, and now she's a minister in Dominican Republic. Kwana question bra with a diplomatic passport, so bit my question.
I'll have.
Happy ever.
But my mentor there, Yana say, since 1980, Sika free continent is what Amanoninqua is about $1.3 trillion. I don't know. Of course, there is another document that is indicting a year Abrofuno. But next week, I'm pretty sure we'll continue with that particular conversation. Thank you very much. Al-Wahab Farouk. What's it? Oh, somewhere around 68 million. 400 throughout the period. Somewhere around 400 something $1 billion. Now, Baby Drew. Happy 98.9 FM.